This week I'm driving the 2022 Ford Expedition Timberline. For 2022, Ford introduced a new off-road package for their SUVs called the Timberline. So this is the off-road Expedition. It's going to compete against the AT4 and also the Z71 we can find at GM. So today we're going to go a little deeper to see what exactly is a Timberline Expedition. Under the hood we can find a V6 3.5 liter Ecoboost. So it's a twin turbo. It's good for 440 horsepower. 510 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to a 10-speed transmission, and it's the only engine we can find under the hood of this Expedition. If we look at Jeep or GM, there's multiple of choice for the engine. At GM, we have two V8s and a diesel engine. And now at Jeep, with the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, we've got V8s and also a new inline six called the Tornado. For some people, it's interesting to have a diesel choice, especially for the big SUVs like these ones. These can achieve really good fuel economy, but Ford loved their Ecoboost, so we're gonna go on the road to see how this Expedition do. All right, I'm gonna test the acceleration with the Expedition Timberline. We've got a little more horsepower and torque under the hood, similar to the numbers of the Gen 2 Raptor, so we'll see how this thing accelerates. All right, it's pretty quick for a V6. We can do the 0 to 100 kilometers in about 6.2, 6.4 second, about 6 seconds flat, 0 to 60 miles an hour. Pretty quick for a large SUV, pretty quick for a small engine. I think it's a little bit quicker than the competition, especially with that update of horsepower and torque under the hood. Really fun, you know, having both, you know, the power and also the fuel economy. And on top of that, you know, especially here in Quebec, you know, it costs a little bit less money to put your license plate on a 3.5 compared to a 6.2 liter. So that's always a plus. On the road with the Expedition Timberline this week. On the road, it's really comfortable. We've got a spatial suspension, an off-road suspension. It's not as sharp as the handling we can find on Yukon, Denali, or a Tahoe, but off-road wise, the ride is comfortable. It's more capable. I've been trying this suspension in some rougher road, some mild off-roading and all that. It's really good when you're off the road. On the road, it's just all right, you know. The handling is not sharp, but still on the highway, comfortable. Obviously, when you push it down the curve, even if it's a big SUV, I think they did such a good job on the new generation of GM, so the Tahoe, the Yukon, and the Escalade with the magnetic suspension and the air suspension. The handling is really good. So if we compare the Expedition with the GM products, obviously the Expedition is lacking. And on top of that, you know, 2 years ago, I was on the proving ground with the GM team, and we were benchmarking the Expedition against the GM products, and we were able to see a big difference between those two. Style-wise, it's a refreshed Expedition, so a brand new front end, brand new grille, brand new headlights. I think they look really good. This one is a Timberline edition, so it's the off-road edition. So we've got some chrome delete all around, but for the exception around the windows, this is kind of weird, but it looks good. Nice grille, dark gray and all that. We've got a big, massive skid plate in the front, similar to the one we can find on a Ford Raptor. We've got also some tow hooks in the front. We've got some really good clearance in the front to do some off-roading. All around this Timberline, we can find some Timberline logos, those little mountains. We've got one in the front, two on the side, and some in the back. We've got some orange touches all around, also in the front, in the back. around the Expedition lettering in the back. It's a cool package. You know, it doesn't look like luxury, but it feels kind of like a lumberjack edition from my point of view. Stepping inside of this Timberline edition, it's really special. The seats are green. We've got some orange touches, orange stitching, some fake plastic metal all around. I'm not a big fan of this, you know, interior of this Timberline. From my point of view, it's a little bit too much. It doesn't feel luxury. It feels kind of like a cartoon version of a lumberjack edition inside. It doesn't feel like you're inside of a super high luxury large SUV. You really have to really like that color inside of this Timberline edition. I think for an off-road edition, I think Jeep is doing a better job. It feels more luxury. Also, you know, the 84 feels more luxury. Even the Z71 feels more big SUV luxury. This interior, from my point of view, it feels like the interior of a Subaru Wilderness edition. You know, it makes sense when you're paying around 40 to 50,000 for a car, having a cool edition like that. But we're inside of a SUV close to $100,000. This is kind of like a funky cartoon style from my point of view. Otherwise, those seats really comfortable, decent amount of space in the second and the last row, decent amount of space in the trunk. No update on this side. Is still a carry-on from the previous years. The big update for the Expedition in general, it's really the technology. We've got a big screen, a big tablet, similar to the one we can find in the Ford Mustang Mach-E. I really like that screen, even if we have to make the sacrifice of a few real hard buttons. Really clear, really easy to use. When you connect wirelessly your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it's really big on the screen, really practical. This screen is really a big update for the Expedition. If we take a look at the cluster, all digital, really cool, really, you know, clear. We've got some different driving modes. When you're on eco mode, just like I'm on right now, the Expedition is going to change color. Now it's green. Similar cluster to the one we can find inside of the F-150. One thing I don't like about this interior, it's really the place where we can recharge our phone wirelessly. My phone is too big, my hand is too big, it's not practical. I really hate that emplacement of this charger. It's way much more practical inside of GM or Jeep products. They need to do an update on this, you know, center console here. Coming back to the Timberline package, on top of having 33 inches off-road Wrangler good ears, we've got also a locking differential in the back. We've got also the trail control. This is going to apply the brake to the rear wheels to be able to turn sharper in off-road condition. Really practical when you have a big SUV like this one. So it's a nice package, you know. We got skid plates, we got a spatial tune suspension and all that. We got those tires with a little bit more grip in off-road condition. It's pretty decent for an off-road large SUV. On the fuel economy side, this week I was averaging 14.9 liters per 100 kilometers. This is a little bit more than the typical Expedition, I could say. Usually the Ecoboost engine inside of the Expedition is able to achieve 13.5. We've got at least a liter more because we're a bit higher off the ground, we're less aerodynamics. We've got the bigger, you know, off-road tires. This is a little bit harder on fuel. These numbers are really similar to the one I'm able to do inside of my GMC Yukon Denali with the V8 6.2 liter. And also I've got 33 inches tires on my Denali, and my tires are a little bit more aggressive than these Wranglers. So, you know, the Ecoboost is able to have good performance mixed with fuel economy, but it's not the best on the market. If you want to do the best fuel economy inside of a large SUV, you should definitely check out the Tahoe, Yukon, or Escalade equipped with the diesel Duramax engine. Those are the best on the market for the fuel economy. If we take a look at the price, a base Timberline starts around $83,840, and the model I'm driving this week, it's good for $97,274. This is really expensive, especially for the looks of a Timberline. It doesn't feel like a luxury truck. Like I said, it looks like a, you know, a firefighter, kind of like lumberjack edition, something like that. From my point of view, it's too cartoonish of an off-roader for that price. I think the 84 or the Wagoneer or the Z71s, you know, they look tough, they look off-road, but they feel luxury. When you're inside of a big SUV like that, you need that luxury feel, luxury look, especially close to $100,000 Canadian. It's a little bit too expensive from my point of view. The base price, it's about the same price as a base Yukon Denali. From my point of view, the Denali, even if I own one, it looks better. You get more luxury inside, and for the price of the model I'm driving this week, you can build yourself a Yukon Denali XL with all the bells and whistles, even the screen in the back and all that. So this Timberline is just way too expensive for my point of view. This Timberline for me feels like they ask a team of design who works in a city to do an off-road, you know, truck. This Timberline is not made or designed by off-road truck person. It feels like the team who work on this, you know, they were looking at, you know, guys who do off-road or guys are doing stuff in the forest, and like, oh, those patterns looks like it's gonna please those kind of guys. It feels a little bit like a construction clothing line edition from my point of view, with those orange and green colors. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this Timberline edition? Do you like it with those green seats? Do you feel the same way as me? You need more that luxury in a large SUV? Let me know your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and we're gonna see each other on the next review.